We didn't touch the club path until the face angle was in a better position. And that's where most people fail. In this video, I'm gonna share with you my exact process that I use to help golfers go from big slicers to little slicers to potentially even consistent drawers of the golf ball, just like this particular student did in a matter of weeks. So let's get to work. Let's teach you how to reduce that slice and potentially even draw that golf ball. You can do it. I know you can. Let's get to work. So before we dive into the cause and effect and how to reduce your slice and potentially get you hitting a draw, I just want to go over the impact conditions that create curvature in ball flight, whether it's a slice, a fade, a draw, a hook. Just the impact conditions, not how the impact conditions occur, we're going to get to that, but just the impact conditions, because it's going to create clarity for a lot of you out there, and it's going to help formulate the proper intentions to reduce your slice and potentially get you drawing the golf ball if that's what your goal is. So what we have in front of us here, I have this blue stick, and it's basically 0 degrees, as 0 degrees as I can get it, to the screen and the flag in the distance. You know, if you know me, I don't like you aiming at flags in general, but for the sake of this video and this demonstration, we are aiming right at that flag. So that stick is gonna go all the way up to that flag at 0 degrees. So that establishes our 0 degree target line. So when I make a golf swing, my golf club can come from outside the line, inside the line, or pretty close to neutral. That is what we call the club path. And club path is simply just the measurement of degrees relative to the target line right through the golf ball as that club strikes the ball. Not out here, but as the club is striking the golf ball. That's where that literal number comes from. And then the second thing we have is club face. Now, I do have to say, I'm only talking about club path and club face here at Impact. There are other smaller pieces of the puzzle, and when you get to the woods, we have other things such as gear effect, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's where you strike it on the face can create some different tilts of the golf ball and some different flights. We are just talking today about path and face. So that second thing is club face. So if I am pointing my club face at that target, my club face is square to the target. My club face is 0 degrees. Now, if I made a golf swing and I swung the club and threw the golf ball, my path was 0 degrees and the face was 0 degrees, because there is no difference between the path and the face, this golf ball will fly straight. Now, it is humanly impossible to replicate that over and over again. So our objective is not to get 0 degrees, and hit the golf ball dead straight. It can happen, especially with our equipment nowadays. But that's not necessarily the ultimate goal. A lot of people do ask me that. Our goal is to have a ball flight that has very little curve and a predictable curve, whether it's left to right or right to left. So the difference now between the path and the face is going to be what creates a lot of the curve. So if I was to make a golf swing and my club path was coming from the outside and I struck the golf ball, notice where the club face is. The club face is square, it's 0 degrees, but relative to the club path, that club face is open or pointing right of the path. That golf ball is going to start exactly where the face is pointed, straight, and then the ball is going to curve to the right. And the bigger the curve, the bigger the difference between the path and the face. And it's the same thing on the opposite side. If the club face is closed to the club path, the ball will curve to the left. But always remember, the ball is always going to start where the club face is pointed. And that's where we're going to go with this right now. And if you are getting something out of this video or do like golf instruction content or golf content in general as a whole, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, join our growing community. My hopes is I can share my passion, my knowledge, and everything I've gained over the past 25 years to help you with your game, get you having a little bit more fun. Like slicing the golf ball into the woods is not fun. So let's get back to the lesson tee. In my 25 years of teaching, I've seen thousands upon thousands of golfers that struggle with slicing the golf ball. When you ask them what would be the perfect ball flight for them if they could magically change it, for the most part, they all say the draw. Now, I'm not saying a draw is the magical ball flight. You just need a consistent, controllable ball flight that has minimal curvature to it, whether it's left to right or right to left. So my objective here is not necessarily all about getting you to draw the golf ball. It's improving the curvature. It's improving the slice. It's bringing that miss as a righty to the right side, bringing it in a little bit. And ultimately, if you end up with a consistent draw and you like that ball flight, more power to you. So over these years, there's a lot of players that struggle with missing to the right as a righty or left as a lefty due to one common thing. And I'm just going to jump right in. It has everything to do with an open club face in the golf swing. And I don't necessarily mean an open club face at the address position. I mean an open club face dynamically. So what is a dynamically open club face? And I'm going to show you from a two-dimensional standpoint here. So as that club goes back, in a perfect world relative to a two-dimensional view, we want the club face to be pretty close to parallel with our spine at about this halfway back position. And I'm going to generalize here, but it parallels with most players that struggle with the slice. Most golfers are here. Most golfers are here. That face is way more open than that neutral position, even at this halfway back. Now, you have some players that go through checkpoints, they film their swing, no, I'm good there. My club face isn't open, but what do they do now? They open the club face as the club gets to the top. Now the club is pointing down at the top, and that's a visual perspective of a open club face at the top of a golf swing. Do you struggle with this at all? I want to know, do you draw the ball? Do you slice the ball? Comment below, let me know, I'm curious. So we need to get into a better position off of the golf ball. So this club face needs to be closer to this position halfway back and this position at the top of the golf swing. I am not going to dive into how to do that in this video. And the reason why is I produced a video about a month or so ago, and I'm going to put a link, direct link to that video at the end of this video. I want you to watch that because I go into how to get control of that club face better. But because I've already done that video, I'm not going to reiterate that here and bore you, but definitely go and check that out. But I want you to understand that this halfway back position, we cannot be open. We cannot be in this position because we are going to be chasing an open club face in our swing. And in that video, I dive deeper into some drills and exercises to get your club face better dynamically. Now, what is this over the top move that people always talk about? I come over the top, that's why I slice the ball. Well, that's more of an effect to the cause. So if I have an open club face during the golf swing, and let's just say I made a good swing back to the golf ball, where I'm shallowing the club out, I'm staying on plane, all those good buzzwords you guys like. This club comes in from a better position. Because I have an open club face, where's this golf ball gonna go? It is gonna start right, and then it's gonna go even further to the right. So the brain goes, well, that was terrible. I gotta figure out a way to make the ball start straight. So the player doesn't fix the club face, but athletically comes over the top, throws the club outside. Why? Because when I get back to the ball, look at where the club face is. It's actually square. So the club face is actually to the target. It's wild how good we are as humans at impact to know where this club face is for the most part. Yet, dynamically, most players have no clue where the club face is. But we do at impact. So we come over the top because the club face is open, because it is a way for us to get the ball to start straight. But what happens? The ball curves to the right. Because the path is coming this way, the face is pointing this way, which means the club face is open to the path. Why? Because the club face was open dynamically during the swing. So I just hopped over here for a second because I wanted to show you the difference between two swings that I just took. And the only difference between these two swings was the dynamic club face. I say only, obviously that's a big deal and that's what we're talking about today. But that was the main change that I made in both of these golf swings. So you'll see the first one here. So if I go to carried 125.9. The second one carried 167.1. If we look down here at speed, club head speed, ball speed, so the one that carried shorter, 81.3 miles an hour, ball speed 97.5. The one that carried longer, look at the club head speed, very much the same, 82.7, but my ball speed was much higher because my impact conditions were much better. So if I go back to the first one where I had the dynamically open club face in the swing, I had to come over the top. I had to come across the golf ball to get that club face back to square. And that's exactly what we're talking about, what happens with majority of golfers. So you'll see, you'll play the little video over here. You'll see the club coming across the ball. It came across 12.3 degrees, but the face angle was 3.6 degrees relative to 0 being the target. That's not bad at all. I go over here. So this was the one where I had the dynamically neutral club face during the backswing and all the way through the swing. And we take a look at the path. The path was more into out. Why? Because I actually needed to make the club work more into out to get the face angle very close to neutral. So here the face was closed to the path, and here the face was open to the path. And all of that was because I changed the club face orientation dynamically in the golf swing. Now, there is no question. I practice this stuff all the time. I can easily change positions. I'm not saying I'm the greatest player in the world, never will say that, but I'm a pretty good ball striker, pretty good golfer. I can manipulate. I have the skill to do this. Not everybody can. The player that I was talking about at the beginning, he had to work his tail off to get the club face in a better position overall. But ultimately, these were some of the changes that he was seeing as well. So let's get back over that lesson, T. So once you get your club face in a better position, and this is going to be a progressive drill I want you to do. Again, wait till the end of the video, go watch that club face video, or go watch it now and come back here. You're going to get into this position here, and we're going to work on one specific drill. So you're going to take the ball position, you're going to put it in the back of your stance. And there's a reason for this. So when you think about the golf swing is a circle. When I come from over the top and come from outside the target line, this club wants to bottom out forwards. So most players that come over the top put the golf ball really forwards in their stance because geometrically it actually matches coming over the top. Now, if I was to take that player that has a big over the top move and put the ball way in the back of their stance, they're going to do one or two things. They're going to athletically swing more from the inside to hit the ball, or they make their same over the top move and then they whiff. So putting the ball back in the stance is actually a great intuitive athletic trigger to deliver the club more from the inside, because it is the only way to actually strike that ball somewhat solid. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, I don't want you playing with a ball in the back of your stance like that, but it does become a great exercise and a great drill. So what I have you do, and this is exactly what I did with this particular player that I was talking about at the beginning, we spent our first couple sessions working on club face. Now, these couple sessions were over a handful of weeks. We did the same thing. He had his homework to do at home. We revisited again. We kept working on it until that club face was much, much, much more consistent dynamically, consistently neutral dynamically through his swing. Then we started working on this piece of the puzzle, where I'd put the ball in the back of his stance. he'd work on the club face, but at the same time, he's hitting little punches, say, to right field in his mind. So if I do it here, I'm set, ball's back of my stance, I'm creating that more closed club face, then open, more closed. Again, there's many ways to do that, reasons such as grip, trail arm, watch that other video. And all I have that player do is hit little punches out there slightly to right field. And I don't know if you could tell, I know it's kind of washed out because of the light, but that ball had a nice little draw to it because the face was closed to the path. The club face was closed to the direction I was swinging. My club path on that one was 10 degrees from the inside. The face angle was 1.5 degrees closed to that path right there. And the main reason was all of that time that we spent getting the club face first more square dynamically in the swing, then we worked on the club path. We didn't touch the club path until the face angle was in a better position. And that's where most people fail at this. They attack the club path first and not the root cause. So I want to make sure you attack the club face first. Get that club face dynamically in a more neutral position. It's going to feel closed, which is fine. Then work on that ball position back drill. Create a bigger swing, kind of work your way through the steps, half swing, three-quarter swing, full swing, and then subtly start to work the ball position more towards the center of the stance, but you're still trying to create that dynamic club face position and your delivery position. I'll stress, club face first. It has to be good. It's the #1 reason why people slice the golf ball, and not because the club face is open at impact. It's open dynamically. Most players are pretty good at getting the club face square to impact, but the over the top is typically what causes that. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions on this.